And as other speakers have said, I also am honored to be with our Children's Home Society of California and all of you today. I'm visiting from Sacramento County. Commuted all the way. All right. So, tell you what, I want to see if you know a song. Very good. All right. Now, do any of you play the recorder? Okay. Obviously I do, so I get to show off. That's the last thing I'm going to do for the next hour that none of you can do if you don't play the recorder. All right. Because I'm here to share some things that I hope you will feel you can do with the children regarding music, okay? So I appreciate the introduction by Ivana. You know, I'm still getting used to this Dr. Paul Morehouse because I earned my doctoral about 4 years ago. All right, as opposed to the 25 years that I've been Music Paul. So feel free to, drop. If you say Dr. Morehouse, I may not respond, but if you say, hey, Music Paul, I'm more apt to respond because, the children have given me that. I didn't walk in and say, they say, hi, Music Paul, So that's very dear to me. So I'm going to spend the first part of my hour up here talking you through the PowerPoint. And then, you see, we have some noisy toys. Chances are you've been to workshops on music and young children. I hope so. Today I'm introducing 3 terms: music-making behavior, the game of music, and the music leader. Together, these ideas offer a view that is not just about children and young children and music, but also about a unique relationship that you can create with the children through music. Back in the classroom, collectively, these ideas have the potential to be satisfying for you as an early childhood educator and also the children, and provide some great music enrichment. So, as I think I've said, I'm going to be up here going through the PowerPoint, and then I'm coming down and want to introduce some of my friends that are here, including Ivana. She's a friend too, but she's not a musical instrumentalist. Do you like to sing, Ivana? Okay. All right. So, Ivana, can we go back to slide 1, please? Oh, there it is. Okay. So, my handout is in your folder if you want to pull it up, but the first screen is not showing the second part of the title. The second part of the title on your handout says, New Research Solves a Tacit Problem, and yada, yada, okay? So with your permission, I will address that later in the session, okay? I think it's important that we start here this afternoon, a child-centered understanding of music-making behavior. So to begin, what do we know about music-making behavior? Okay? Unless you perform music, you don't, as an adult music listener, typically distinguish between music and music making. Normally, we're simply interested in the music, right? The product that the music makers create. Hey, why not? It's good stuff, right? Your favorite band, your favorite singer, and so on, okay? Young children, however, are equally interested in both. They appreciate and enjoy the music products that they listen to, and also enjoy the process of making music. For young children, making music is special. It's a very special activity, but not specialized. You gotta make that distinction, okay? Adults, music is one of the performing arts. It is, right? It's a wonderful thing, okay? And who if music is one of the performing arts, who does it? The artists, right? These special people who spend many hours, I can vouch for that, okay, many, many, many hours practicing music, okay? So, you know, we see it as being specialized, but the children do not, okay? All young children know they are music makers, unless they're told differently, okay? They know they're music makers. They do not judge or compare their own ability to make music against what others do. In other words, they do not come to the conclusion, I can't do it as good as my friend Jasmine. You know, young children don't do that. If you give them the opportunity to engage in making music, they're there, okay? And they love it, all right? I believe as early childhood educators, it is good to keep an awareness of both music and music-making behavior. One reason is because we tend to think of music in terms of particular musical pieces that exist in the world that we should learn, such as bingo, right? I just played a song for you, all right, such as bingo, all right? So there's nothing inherently wrong with that. But it can influence us to think that music is something that exists only externally to the child, that is only a subject to learn, okay? The idea of music-making behavior reminds us that people are the source of music, and this includes young children. They have a natural sense of music which they enjoy expressing, so it is good for us to think of music as something being out in the world that they can learn, right? It's good. And also something that is within that they want to express. So, you know, learning is sort of like from out to in, and expression is from in to out, right? Internal to external. Okay, Ivan? So again, what do we know about music-making behavior? It is believed that it has always been a part of our human way of life. And I love this particular hieroglyph because it shows a child. You know, some of the ancient Egypt hieroglyphs do not do that. All right. I found out that this period of Egyptian culture dates back about 3,400 years, give or take a few 3-day weekends. All right. So lots of history for music-making behavior. Also, music-making behavior is a universal behavior throughout the world, throughout history. Okay. And by the way, adults are really into music-making behavior. And for us adults, it primarily serves as a mode of cultural expression and or artistic expression. Such is not the case for young children. And I will return to this point in a minute. So what about young children's music-making behavior? There's a couple important questions. And by the way, when young children play instruments, it seems like they're imitating adults because they do it in a way that adults do it. After countless musical collaborations over a period of 25 years, I can tell you, indeed, they do imitate adults, but not all the time, okay? Their music-making behavior is not 100% imitation. In my early childhood programs, sometimes I play the guitar and they play a drum, so they're not imitating me. Sometimes I play a drum and they shake maracas, so they're not imitating me because it's two different physical movements, okay? Sometimes I give them the choice to play what I play, if I'm playing a drum or one of these instruments, and they intentionally choose something different. So they're not, you know, it's not just about, I gotta do what you're doing, okay? They are very self-motivating and display purposeful intention in their music-making behavior. It is certainly legitimate to ask, does young children's music-making behavior result in what can be considered real music? And please know, I'm not talking about the Mozarts of the world, the musical prodigies who compose on the piano at 3 years old. Hey, that's pretty amazing, and it's real. I mean, that happens, and it wasn't just Mozart, okay? But such children are a statistically minute percentage of people in the world. I'm talking about the vast majority of average children, okay? As we address this question, let's review some basics. We readily perceive children, young children, as music learners. They are. They're learning, okay? Ivana? We readily perceive young children as music consumers because they are, just like us. They enjoy listening to music. We readily perceive young children as music responders because they are. They instinctively and naturally respond to music by vocalizing, clapping, dancing, and so on, okay? But are they authentic music makers? I will tell you, yes, they are. You knew that was right. Kind of a bias. Okay. All right, here are a couple of young music makers. I think you can tell our two young drummers were not posing for the camera. They were fully engaged in jamming, making music. I have done many programs over the years with infants and toddlers, as well as preschoolers, so I know music-making behavior begins very young. Of course, there's much to learn about music, but the instinct to make music seems to be as natural as the instinct to play. You'll notice these photos happen to be two little boys, okay? But I want to tell you that the attraction to drumming and using rhythm instruments in general is no less present in girls the same age. I just happened to grab these two photos that were available, okay? So to address our question, yes, there is proof that young children are authentic music makers. We see this first by understanding what music is. By a basic definition, music is organized sound. In other words, when sounds are organized in a special way, our brain lights up and says, hey, I hear music. And this is very evident when we hear the beautiful sounds of instruments, which includes the human voice. But even if you tap on a pot or pan or milk carton or whatever, you can deliver a musical message. So if music is organized sound, are young children capable of organizing sound in a musical way? Absolutely. It's just that they're not as accurate or consistent in their efforts to do so. But the sense of organization is there. This becomes more clear when we think about their creative expression through visual art. Okay? They make bodies with oversized heads and flowers taller than a house. Now, you know I didn't do this, for an example here today, right? This is authentic. This is real art. The kids make great visual expression, okay? All right, it's not accurate, but it's very recognizable. Their artwork is charming, and so is their music. Now, calling music organized sound is a functional definition. It describes the mechanics, that's what you're doing, but it does not give the whole picture. Music did not evolve in human cultures, so we would busy ourselves organizing sound when we weren't off hunting mammoths. Truly, there's a deeper purpose. That deeper purpose is in part defined by the act of connecting and bonding human relationships. There are still mysteries surrounding the actual origins of music. It's not 100% known how music evolved in early human societies. But there is agreement that music has been significant in regard to human social development. This so-called act of organizing sound seems to have a very powerful effect on us as individuals and groups. I mean, the music industry is a multi-billion dollar industry, right? There's a huge demand, which is interesting when you consider music does nothing to support or protect our physical survival. Okay? So indulge me for a minute while we think about this. Why is music such a powerful social emotional experience? First of all, music is a complex, holistic experience. The energy, vibrations, and rhythm of music make it very physical. Then there are the rhythmic patterns, layers of sound, word pictures and songs, not to mention social messages, and I'm talking adults as well as children, right? That keeps us cognitively and intellectually engaged in music. So we got physical, the intellectual. The aesthetic factor speaks to our emotions. Music is wrapped completely in an aesthetic robe. Again, there's something about sound and rhythm that speaks emotionally to all human beings, adults and children. Also, a music-making experience is dualistic in the way that it addresses the needs of individuals and groups simultaneously. Compare it to food. We always want food to be nutritious and taste good. Those are individualistic concerns, right? You're the one eating. You want it to be nutritious for your body and to taste good. Now think of Thanksgiving, all right? We sit down with family and friends. Good taste and nutrition are still important, but suddenly the eating experience is taken to a whole other level because of that social emotional dynamic. Okay? A similar multi-layer complexity occurs during music-making behavior. I mean, you saw, well, you're going to see some more children, but, little Kara there holding her maracas. It looks pretty simple, but, the surface belies what's really going on, okay? Music serves the needs of individuals and groups simultaneously when you're making music together with other people. And these complexities are not lost on young children. I've observed it over and over and over again. As I started doing music in early childhood around 1999, and by the way, prior to that, I was doing, school age, K through 5th grade. But then I started, when I was doing K through 5th grade, of course, my youngest students were 5 years old, but then all of a sudden, my oldest were 5 in early childhood, okay? So I saw that it's likely they're not what I just explained to you about this the dualistic, aspect and these complexities. The children are not processing that intellectually, right? But observing them, looking at their behavior, it's clear. It is so clear. If you, watching them over and over, day after day, they respond to their individualistic need, but also to the group dynamic. It's quite fascinating, and for as long as I've been doing it, I'll be doing it again Monday morning, right? After the weekend, I'm back to work, and I love it, okay? It's just one of the most incredible experiences, and it's been transformational for me, okay, as an individual. So on to our second most important question. Are we still in sync here? I think, yeah. All right. So, does music-making behavior serve young children in the same way that it serves adults? Yes, in the ways we just discussed, organizing sound, social emotional connection. However, ta-da! Everybody know Mr. Piaget, right? Good old Jean. All right, Jean Piaget, one of our early pioneers, okay? I am far from being a Piaget scholar, mainly because his studies did not directly address music in the lives of young children. He was pretty busy with a lot of things, but if you read anything that Piaget was writing, you're not going to find a whole lot about music. That's okay. We still love him. Indirectly, he made some important findings relating to our topic today. I especially appreciate his references to the qualitative uniqueness of children. Remember, there's a significant distinction between quantitative and qualitative research and assessments. Quantitative evaluation uses measurement and statistics, right? And it's, gives us information that's helpful. But qualitative evaluations look at intrinsic value and the human story found in experiences. Therefore, the quality of the music children make cannot be seen by comparing it with the music made by adults. Music by young children must be valued and understood on its own terms, taken on its own merit, in other words, qualitatively, in an authentic context, considering who's making the music, namely the children. And I'm not suggesting that we're meant to endure daily sessions of chaotic sounds by groups of energetic preschoolers. I love music a lot. I know you all do. We all do in our own way. I've chose to make a career of it in various ways. Okay, and I'm not a martyr. I would not have lasted 25 years of facilitating noise-making behavior, okay? The instruments make sound, and it can get noisy, but we're gonna find out what makes the difference to move it towards music and away from noise. Okay, and believe me, when I am facilitating these activities, it's not forcing the children to do something that they're reluctant to do or that is developmentally inappropriate. The qualitative uniqueness of young children, as Mr. Piaget said, in regard to music means the music young children make is as real as the music made by adults, especially to the children, we make a comparison, but it's not a rehearsal. When young children are making music, they're not rehearsing for like when the big show is coming. That's it. That's their music. It's real, it's alive, it's vibrant, and it's beautiful, okay? All right. Most assuredly, young children do not experience their music making as artistic or cultural expression, as I referred earlier to adults. For young children, making music is like playing a game. Understanding how young children perceive their own experience of music making as a game is important, not only to our understanding about their relationship with music, but also to the larger picture of who they are as young human beings. For me, gaining an understanding of their perception turned the light on. Whatever I previously thought I was doing with the children, I finally came to realize that they experienced the music-making activities I was doing with them as a game. They weren't practicing, art or culture. Even though, of course, all music has a cultural wrap. I mean, when I play bingo, that has a cultural essence to it because it's, a song that we know, in our culture. So, but the children don't think of it that way, okay? It's there, but they don't think of it that way. And by the way, as I start referring to these experiences as the game of music, I want you to know that I've never taught that term to the children, okay? It's completely unnecessary. They don't need a label, okay? I use this to try to discuss it, with teachers and my colleagues, okay? Making music is purely experiential for the children. They understand it. There's a very instinctive understanding it. It's just, okay, it's like if you hand a young child a ball, it's kind of instinctive, right? What do? They roll it, throw it, hold it, the various things they're going to do with a ball. When I hand children these instruments, okay, let's say I got some nice little drums over there that they enjoy a lot. I hand a child a drum, it's really in that same category as the ball. They're light, they're not heavy, and the children could throw it if they wanted. And if they're sitting down, they can roll it across the floor. It's possible. And I'll admit, in 25 years, it's happened. It's happened. But I'll tell you, amazingly little. They really have a respect for this experience. I mean, it's quite remarkable. That's why I went for a PhD. I should be, there's a lot of, I was in LA, for 30 years, and that's where I began doing my programs. And there's, of course, some of these kids are pretty older now, but, I should be mad at these kids. I mean, they got me in debt for the rest of my life. I mean, I went back for a PhD, and I don't know if I'll ever pay it off, unless I hit the lottery. So, anyway, what can I say? I had to follow that. It was pretty amazing. So where are we here? We're at 26? All right. So, very important, okay? Thesis topic. When I refer to the game of music, I'm expressing a child-centered perspective of music-making behavior, okay? I want to emphasize that when I say the game of music, it's really a game. It's not a metaphor. I'm not saying what they do is like, it's a game. Because like all games, it has rules, okay? Game rules are child-friendly because children understand rules. We all know they make up their own games and they make up their own rules sometimes. So it's something they understand. Ivana? And communication, language, has rules which is called grammar. Children are natural learners of the rules of language. During the first 5 years, they're probably at their peak of sensitivity to these rules as they learn language with remarkable speed. Now it may be, I have not done this research, okay? I don't know if anyone else has, I haven't come across it, but it may be that they're able to apply the same learning skills equally to language and music, because there's a lot of overlap. And again, we're back to the social element. Music making, like other games, is a powerful social experience. And please know that the rules for the game of music does not prevent freedom of expression. In fact, they actually provide the framework that allows creative interactions to occur. So, before I drop the real bomb, let's summarize two main points. Number one, young children are naturally predisposed to engage in music-making behavior. Number two, their experience of engaging in music-making behavior is like playing a game. And now the bomb. Yes, there's a paradox with the game of music, and you, all of us, are part of that paradox. Although the game of music is a child-centered perspective, it can only be activated with an adult game leader called the music leader. Okay? Now, we are in a period where there is strong advocacy for allowing young children to have unstructured free play. I understand this and I support that wholeheartedly. In early childhood music, it is popular to have a so-called music center, often a choice activity. Instruments are put out for the children to explore, okay, and do their own thing. Now, this has a lot of value, but that's not the game of music. The irony is that due to their level of social maturity, young children by themselves do not play the game of music anywhere near the level of their true capability. Like many games, the game of music needs a game leader called the music leader, which I'm saying a lot here, okay? Ivana? Okay. The music leader can be any caring adult, one who understands the importance of music in the lives of children and the value, of allowing young children to engage in music-making behavior. Two, who understands the value of their own play, the teacher's own play interaction with children, and who enjoy playing games with children. And three, who is accepting of their current level of musical skill, whatever that level is, because whatever it is, you are qualified to be a music leader and play the game of music with young children. Now, I'm sorry, the most recent research project I did was with 8 local early childhood educators, mostly in Sacramento County, I guess. Is Antelope in Sacramento County, or I guess? Okay, so they were all in Sacramento County. Sorry, anyway. But, as a research project, we had permission to videotape. This is supposed to be a video slide, but we found out that the laptop doesn't have. So, again, you tried it again, Ivan? It's not going to happen, though, huh? Okay. All right, so here's Sharon Bradley down in Elk Grove, being a music leader, and next slide is Annette up in Antelope, and there were 6 others in the project. These ladies and the other, the still photos, well, I guess these are pretty still. They were supposed to be moving. Anyway, all right, these are all experienced, professional, early childhood educators. Okay, and they had music as part of their program in one way or another, but none of them understood this idea of music-making behavior, that the young children are naturally inclined to be involved with, and they certainly didn't think of themselves as a music leader in the game of music. And the participants, okay, I gave each participant a 1-hour orientation so they can follow some activities, which is what we're about to get into. All right, and beyond that, they took it where they wanted to take it, and they enjoyed it, the kids enjoyed it, and it was really exciting. Okay, so I'll tell you what. Let's, okay, go ahead, and there we are. So, no one would play chess, checkers, or Monopoly without the game pieces, right? The game of music uses game pieces. These instruments are all highly attractive to young children. And yes, they produce sound, but the sounds do not become noise in the game of music. By organizing the sounds according to the rules of the game, the result is real music. And the instruments are also very powerful tools of development. I've seen many times over the years children who are somewhat reticent in their personality in general and completely disinclined to sing during group singing, and yet really come alive when they're given an opportunity to pick out an instrument and use it in the context of in one of the games, in the game of music, okay? Okay, so you can play the game of music with pretty much any children's song. So I'm going to give some examples now, okay? And as we go through the examples, I'm going to, of course, use the game pieces. So on this table, these are the tools of my trade. These particular instruments I have in 4 different bags that I carry with me, throughout the week to the various sites I go to. Okay, and I'll get to those in a minute. Now, when you're a music leader in the game of music, if you play the tuba, I guess you can play the tuba. Okay, all right. But if you don't play the tuba or the clarinet or the flute or the guitar or anything, use a drum. Each of the music leaders that you saw in the pictures were using a drum because I recommend it. It's a great instrument. It's easy to hold. They're light. You hold it under one arm. And it's not like, you're trying to audition for Santana. All you got to do is one hand, All right. So these are 4 examples of what I call the teacher drum. And of course, as soon as the teacher has a drum, who wants to play it? All the kids. So of course, you offer opportunities for the children to come up and play your drum, but you let them know that that's your drum. Okay, that's a drum. When you're playing a game of music, that's what you use. All right. So this family of instruments are varied. There's almost, well, it's not endless, but there's a multicultural element involved, with simple percussion instruments, okay? And these are not toys, right? I mean, they're real instruments. There's a history, in whatever culture it comes from, right? Here is a guido. It took me a long time to learn how to say that. I was calling it a gyro because I didn't notice there was 2 little dots over the U until one of my Spanish-speaking friends said, that's not the way you say that, So this is a guido. And again, these instruments I kind of use as special occasions for show and tell because, a stick, there's a safety issue all the time. And that's why when I get to those over there, you'll see. But they still have a huge attraction. They're very interested. And you have the capability of demonstrating a guido by, there's the holes, right? So you put your thumb and first finger, you hold a stick, and you say, twinkle, twinkle, little star, and continue. I mean, I'm not even, right now I'm not even using my singing voice. I'm using my rhythm voice. When I say, twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Okay, now I'm not playing the game of music right now. I'm demonstrating an instrument. And I do demonstrate instruments to the kids, and then we do turn taking, okay? But the reason I'm distinguishing these is I don't put instruments like this out on the table for them to randomly choose, for 3 to 5-year-olds, because, you gotta be careful. All right, this has a stick. All right, this is, okay, if you go to your local music store, hopefully they'll have some, but this is called, actually I've heard it called either a tone block or a cone block, all right? C as in cone or T as in tone, all right? And so there is a single cone block and you need a stick because it doesn't do anything by itself, unlike a maraca or something, all right? So you use the stick and okay, kind of cool, right? Made out of wood, sounds like tick-tock, however you want to discuss it, all right? But then, so the kids can get really interested in the cone block, you don't even have to have the double cone block, However, when you show up the next week with a double cone block, say, hey, remember the cone block? All right, now we can go like this. It's like, whoa, just takes off on a whole other, range, okay? And now you can imagine, okay? You come back the next week and you got the triple cone block or tone block. All right, so again. Now again, for show and tell, you don't have to play the game of music. You say, wow, who wants to try it? All the hands go up, All right, there's rare, unless, it's there's nothing ever 100% with young children, right? So when I say everybody wants to do it, no, it's not 100% of the time. The child's in a bad mood, they don't want to do anything, all right? But the next time they say, oh, Music Paul, did you bring that thing again? Now they want to do it. So it's not like they really don't want to, but sometimes they don't feel like it. But by and large, they're highly motivated. These are very attractive things. People, we know, right? When the fetus is in the oven, right? It is the auditory cortex that is active way before the visual cortex, right? What is it? I think it's the 22nd or 23rd, somewhere around 6 months, the fetus is hearing. So that's their contact. Of course they're going to be interested in sound, let alone when it looks kind of like this and they can't figure out what to call it or, So, it's just, what can I say? It very instinctive and the kids really go for it. Now, of course, many, many classrooms have rhythm sticks, and rhythm sticks, these are professional claves. I've been up on bandstands with adult musicians that are going, you like salsa, right? Hey, okay, so, claves are pretty cool. And there's one little secret here with the claves is because if you notice, see the way to do the claves, and this is, I have a lot of fun with this because I've been doing it a long time. So, a child will typically grab them the same way, okay? And so it makes a sound, but not quite the same, So I get more mileage out of these with school-age children because their hands are a little bigger, okay? So that's why I'm just showing you, it's great show and tell, and, the 4 and 5-year-olds, they'll try, and, they do the best they can. I don't know if you probably can't see in the back, but there's no more ribs on this. I've had this thing, this has been, really I'm going to adopt it because it feels like family now. It's been with me for so long. The little ribs on top have been worn down many years ago. But guess what? I know you can hear that back there, right? All right. When you show the children how to do it like that, they don't say, hey, how come I can't do it? Well, you can do it, all right? But it's true when they're a little newer, they do have that little, you can scrape it. But I kind of default to hitting. I'm just always looking at what makes the best sound, what's the easiest way for them to feel successful making a sound with an instrument. So again, if anything I say today inspires you to try the game of music, you need instruments, the game pieces, and you go shopping, you find something and you look at it, you test it out. That's your prep. You got to check it out and see how you make the best sound. And however you make the best sound, you share that with the kids. And I'll tell you something, they respect it. It's amazing. When I'm teaching the children how to use the frog, I don't just hand it to them. I know they would figure out how. I say, okay, hold your hand like this, like a pancake or, whatever. And they do. And I'll say, now put the frog in the middle and close your fingers, right? They say we can all remember 3 things, right? Open hand, frog in the middle, close your fingers, right? Then you hold the stick and you hit them right on the head, right? And I say, look, what happens if you don't close your fingers? It falls. If you close your fingers, okay, it doesn't fall. And, oh my God, without me even saying anything, if one child has been really watching and they see another child doing it, they go over, you know how nurturing they are to each other. So all of a sudden I have a musical assistant, or assistant director who's showing the other child how to hold it the right way. So they have, it's really quite remarkable what I've observed and why I'm still doing this after 25 years, this love and respect that's involved in this experience. What can I say? I didn't make it up. I just started, whoa. I thought I was going to teach them music. I thought I was going to be a music teacher. Then I found out, no, I'm not teaching them. I'm teaching them a song. I'm teaching them, let's stand in a line, and how to hold the frog. But this instinct to be, to engage in music-making behavior, you don't teach children that. It's there. And if it's there for them, it's there for you too. Okay, that's why I'm going to encourage you. Okay, so remember when I played my little song, Bingo, right? Now, bingo is a great song to sing, right? There was a farmer. All right, but now we're going to segue. Here's the way I play the game of music. Now, by the way, when I started, right before I played that, I said, who knows my song, right? And I'm replicating what I do with the kids. And I noticed, of course, I couldn't see back there, but people up here, I would say I was about 3 seconds into the melody. Bum, ba, ba, bum, bum. Oh, okay. And guess what? It's about the same. It's about the same for children and adults. When I start playing that, children will call out bingo. But there is one little disclaimer for that. It starts out a lot like Old MacDonald. Okay, did you hear that? You can say, Old MacDonald had a farm. There was a farmer, had a dog. So, guess what? Within 3 seconds or 2 seconds, children will say, Old MacDonald, instead of bingo. But then, all of a sudden I go, B-I-N-G-O. It moves away from Old MacDonald. They're right there. They got it, okay? So anyway, here's the way I play. Now, I wish all of you had instruments right now, but, well, you do, the one that's easiest for you to access, just for the sake of time. So, all right, now, when we sing about bingo, you got to know the letters, right? Do you know the letters? Everybody say B. B. I. N. G. O. Whoa, how many letters is that? B-I-N-G-O. That's 5 letters, right? Now, of course, we could count them. We could say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come on, help me count the letters. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. Okay, but you know what? When we sing bingo, we're not going to count the numbers. We got to do the letters. Come on, let's do the letters. Ready? B-I-N-G-O. 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 And bingo was his name. Oh, okay, now guess what? I want you to help me with the letters, but first I'm going to tell you the story, so you got to wait, okay? And this is what I usually have a line of children next to me, and I'm usually using my guitar, but you don't need a guitar, okay? I guess I should model. I mean, you can clap, but, if you got the drum and they have their I guess I didn't go through all my instruments over there, but I will in a minute. But if they have their instruments and you got the teacher drum, you say, now, okay, you're going to help me with the letters, but I'm going to tell you the story. The story, well, it's kind of short, but it's a story. There was a farmer, had a dog, and bingo was his name. And I purposely do it slow. I mean, they want to play, but I say, you got to wait. That's the rules of the game. We're playing the game of music. You got to wait. You got something that makes a beautiful sound, and I just gave it to you, okay? And after, we do some little warm-up stuff, but, okay, now wait, you're going to help with the letters. I'll tell you the story. There was a farmer, had a dog, and bingo was name-o. You get a group of, I use 5, 8, 10. Some, you got to watch how you press your luck, because turn taking is much better. I don't give out instruments to like 20 children. And usually in family child care programs, I think in the people I'm working with now, one person has 14 in the program, and they're not always there on the same day. But anyway, it's not like Head Start where, when I do Head Start Center, there's like 25 kids, We do turn taking. Turn taking has a lot of value on many levels, especially when you play the game of music, because, it just works much better. So anyway, I will have certainly maybe, depending on the size of the group. If it's 4 kids, I'm going to have 2 at a time and so on. But anyway, I'll have as many as 8 or 10 up with me playing instruments, and it's just, see, they don't realize they're music makers, really, until they stop. The instruments that I've decided work most effectively, efficiently for the kids, for the game of music, the sound of wood. There's many instruments made out of wood. So these frogs, and there could be variations of this, could be the cone block, but a simple instrument, the frogs just happen to be real popular because they look like frogs. But it's got a good sound for wood. All right, drums again, okay, and good, I don't work for Remo Drum Company, but I've been using these for, I probably, just like the frogs, 10, 12, 15 years. Okay, good, all right, because they have these little feet, these are important because if a child is sitting down, a drum with no feet, you put it on the ground, it sounds like that. Just by having it off the ground, all of a sudden, wow, okay. I'm sorry? Remo, R-E-M-O, yeah. And there's other, hey, I got some Lakeshore tambourines here. Where did Ann go? There she is. All right. All right. Here's some Lakeshore tambourines that I always use. I think she's got her headphones on. All right. So, B-I-N-G-O. I have, again, the discussions, with 3 to 5s and even the 2-year-olds, I'll admit, the infant toddlers, I do programs with infant toddlers, and I'll admit everything that I'm covering right now is kind of, older 2s to 5. But believe me, you saw Flavio and Jacob up there from LA many years ago when they were under 1 year old. They got music behavior going on. But when we get into the game of music, because it's language based and these specific rhythms, okay, it's really, the target is 3 to 5s, but it's amazing in these mixed age groups, the 2-year-olds they do some pretty amazing things. And I'm not even, the 1-year-olds probably do amazing things, you really can't, cut it off. I mean, this experience, obviously the older they get, the more accurate they get, but that doesn't mean that the younger ones are not doing it, like if you look at the glass half full, like I explained with the visual art, the structure is there. Anyway, so we got drums, maracas, tambourines, and the wood in any form. So I just want you to retain you have one of these very interesting sounds. But right now we're going to go with clapping because I want to try to cover as many of these examples. This is all, you're going to see the concepts are the same. How you vary it is with the repertoire. So here's a song that some of you, if not all of you, may be familiar with, all right? All right, so I want to introduce this way of bringing in a variation of call and response contrasted with doing it all together. So which we kind of did with bingo, right? At first, we did the letters and then we did it together. But bingo is a very specific song. You got a lot of songs that are kind of like this, all right? So please help me. All right, let's play the game of music. I go first. I want you to be my echo. Say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I caught a fish alive. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then I let it go again. Why did I let it go? Because he bit my finger so. All right? All right. And you'll see how amazingly well children do that, like right away. Because, I do a lot of first-time groups. I come in and, kids I've never seen before, and I don't know how much call and response they've been doing with their teacher. Maybe some, maybe not. But, by and large, they get it. Okay. So we just did call and response. Now, this next part, this is, you don't need a PhD in music, to do what I've done with this song. But I'll admit, this last part is mine, okay? I looked at it and said, okay, we did the call and response. We need a chorus. What adults, again, I don't teach these terms to the kids. But a chorus is, like in Jingle Bells, right? The verse is dashing through the snow. Some people don't even know the verse. But what's the chorus? Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Okay. Okay, the chorus is the part of the song that repeats. So in here, I have a little fun. After we do, I say, why did I let him go? Why did I let him go? Because he bit my finger so. Because he bit my finger so. And then, of course, it stops after that last response. I say, okay, which one did he bite? Are you ready? You want to help me? Here's the one. You go, on the right, this little finger. Help me now. Here we go. On the right, this little finger on the right. On the right, this little finger on the right. So again, when you have your group, now, if your group is small enough, maybe every child will have an instrument. You don't have to take turns with small groups. You don't even have to take turns with large groups if you want to go for it. But, I will typically have, there's some children who are participating by sitting and clapping, other children will come up next to me and take a turn with the instruments. And so we might do the same song once or twice. Go ahead, Ivan. So, all right, this is a song. This is not actually even a song. All right, you know, we have resources out there. Anybody ever see this one before? All right, Anna Banana, 101 jump rope rhymes. These are authentic because, you know, yeah. The kids are not as censored as we are now because some of them maybe, well, I know there's some I don't use. I don't want to get in trouble. Like when it goes, I won't go to Macy's anymore, more. There's a big fat policeman at the door. He grabs me by the collar. He makes me pay $1, so I won't go to Macy's anymore, more. Okay. Okay. This is another jump rope chant. It's not in the book that I just showed you. Okay. We got to pretty much wrap it up here. So again, these kinds of musical compositions are out there. You look for the short phrases. Here, we don't have to do call and response, but just go, you know, Grandma Moses, sick in bed. She called the doctor. The doctor said, Grandma, you ain't sick. All you need is a peppermint. So you're doing that call and response, and you say, okay, hey, what color is a peppermint stick? Red and white. So then we go, red and white stripes, taste so good, you feel all right. Red and white stripes. Okay, so to go from a call and response where they're paying attention and they got to listen and echo you to all of a sudden it becomes more freer, but there's still structure. See? So that's where the structure is, it's not constricting. There's actually a real amazing release and quite interesting, you know, artistic expression. All right, Ivana, let me see what's next. Okay, I was bringing this one in to show you that there's a lot of poems that will adapt to the game of music. All right, you may know there was a little turtle who lived in a box, swam in the puddle, climbed on the rocks, snapped at the mosquito. How many are familiar with that poem? All right, it's, again, I didn't write it. I came across it years ago in books for, you know, poetry for children. So the idea is that there's a natural, poetry and, you know, poems and lyrics to songs have a very close relationship. Sometimes a poem is turned into a song, you know, and sometimes a lyric is recited as a poem, all right? So there's a very close relationship. So in this case, again, my huge, you know, 25-year creativity, and I'm being sarcastic because my point is, I want this structure. I want the structure. I want to have call and response, and then a way to get us going together. So I made up the chorus. It says, create a chorus. So let's see. There was a little turtle who lived in the box. He swam in the puddle. Okay, there's swimming going on. Okay, he climbed on the rocks. Ooh, there's climbing going on. And he snapped at a mosquito. Okay, hey, I got my chorus, all right? All right, he goes, swim. I'm sorry, the chorus is swim, climb, snap. All right, help me with that one. Ready to go. Swim, climb, snap. Again, good. Swim, climb, snap. All right, believe me, repetition is a big beneficial factor. You know, you get a groove. Everybody know about, you know, remember James Brown? You know, I got a groove. You know, all right. The groove, you may not know about a groove, but your body knows about a groove. I mean, it's there. It's in your body. You don't have to know about it. And the kids will tell you that because that groove is in their body. So what I'm saying is the repetition on these, you know, the reason we're doing it, I mean, the call and response, it repeats in the concept. The words change. But when you get to the chorus, right, you know, swim, climb, snap, okay? You want to they get into it, you know, you don't just do it. If you do it once and stop, it's like, hey, come on, I'm warmed up now. You know, don't take the wind out of my sails. All right, so it's good, you know, when you have these choruses, that's, you know, 2 lines, could go 4 lines. All right, let's see what's next. Am I going to throw a monkey wrench to? Okay, I'm always. Yeah, the brown bear. Okay, I got to go through this real quick, but I think if you're with me If you're going to be with me at all, you're with me by now. So look at, yes, there are wonderful books made from songs. Rafi, I've sung Baby Beluga 20, if I had a dime for every time. It's a great song, I love it, I will continue to sing it, and this book is great, and I share it. Here's Baby Beluga doing his thing, or her thing, in the ocean. All right, so there are books made from songs, but there are books that are not particularly made from songs. Now, I think there may be a recorded version of this, I don't know, I've never heard. But it's the structure. This is so musical, it's perfect for the game of music, all right? Especially when you want to teach about question and answer, all right? So if I said, everybody, do you know the question? All right, help me with the question. Brown bear, what do you see? Ooh, and what's the answer? I see a red bird looking. So, again, the process is we play the instruments on the question, and then you just verbalize and you let children take turns. Because I don't introduce these books through the music, they know them already. We're giving them extended life enrichment through a musical experience. All right? So when you see a structure where there's call and response, although in this case we're not doing call and response, it's question answer. So everybody plays together, brown bear, what do you see? I see a red bird looking at me. Okay, ready? Let's ask the next question. Red bird. Okay, so again, you take turns. You bring your kids up. They pick out the instruments. You got your teacher drum. All right? So there's quite a few books out on the market. This one is not on your handout. But how many know this Head to Toe by Eric Carle? Okay, so here again, it's a variation. Okay? I am a penguin and I turn my head. Now, in this case, we're not going to do the question and then say the answer. It's too short. So in this case, we're going to do the question and the answer. And what is the question? Can you do it? I can do it. Everybody practice. Can you do it? I can do it. And then we take turns being animals. Say, okay, who's going to be the penguin? I am a penguin and I turn my head. Ready? Here's the song. Can you do it? I can do it. Can you do it? See, we're taking poetic license. They only do it once when you're reading it like a book, and that's fine. Okay, it stands on its own merit as a story. Doesn't have to be music, but when you play the game of music, you get a little, get that groove going when the kids are responding. All right. So there's this. How many know this book, Rap-a-Tap-Tap? All right. All right, so I'm only there once a month. So we did some other songs. We did this one. I leave. I do all my other schools. I'm coming back in the door 1 month later, and as I open the door, all of a sudden, the whole group, these are like 3 to 5, they go, rap-a-tap-tap, think of that. And I looked at the teacher, I said, did you do that? She goes, no, Millie started that. Here's little Millie, little 3 or 4-year-old, maybe she's 4. I guess Millie's 4. So she got the whole group going, rap, because here comes Music Paul, we did rap-a-tap-tap, So, it's, they definitely, these things get embedded. So, I guess I got to stop. Right? Okay, sorry. On your handout, there's a couple more examples, but, it's, okay, you look for where you can do call and response, and then create what we call a chorus. The kids don't have to know that term. All right, they'll learn it in high school. But in early childhood, just let them do it. So please, go play the game of music. Thank you.